Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself. If you retired tomorrow, could you actually afford to live the way you're living right now? Not survive. Live. If the answer is I'm not sure, or probably not, you are not alone. You are, in fact, part of a majority. According to the Federal Reserve's most recent survey of consumer finances, more than half of Americans approaching retirement age have less than $100,000 saved. A significant portion have almost nothing at all. That is not a reason to panic, but it is a reason to stop, think, and make a real plan before you take any action that could cost you years of financial security. Here is what nobody tells you when you're 55, 58, or 62 and feeling behind. The decisions you make in the next 5 to 10 years will matter more than almost anything you've done financially in the last 30. The window is still open, but it is not open forever. That is exactly what this video is about. Not generic advice. Not hollow platitudes about starting early. That ship has sailed and we both know it. This is a clear, honest, strategic breakdown of what actually works when you are over 55 and need to make serious ground. Fast. Stay with me. This could be the most important hour you invest in your financial future. Welcome back. If you're new here, this is a space where we discuss money, retirement, and financial decision-making with clarity. No products to sell, no hidden agenda, just solid information delivered straight. Today we are going to cover where you actually stand and how to assess it honestly. We are going to cover the most powerful catch-up tools available to you right now. The 5 biggest mistakes people in your position make, and how to avoid them. How to restructure your savings without feeling like you're punishing yourself. What to do with Social Security, and why timing that decision is more critical than most people realize. And finally, how to build a retirement plan that is realistic, resilient, and tailored to where you actually are, not where you wish you were. This is going to be detailed. If you commit to watching it all the way through, you will walk away with a framework you can actually use. Before we go further, if you find this kind of content valuable, I'd ask you to do 3 things right now. Hit subscribe. We publish videos like this regularly, and you don't want to miss what's coming. Leave a like. It takes 2 seconds, and it genuinely helps more people in your exact situation find this content. And share this video with someone who needs to hear it. A sibling, a spouse, a friend. Retirement anxiety is one of the loneliest things people carry. Sometimes knowing someone else is working through the same problems is itself a first step. Now, let's get into it. The first thing most people do when they feel behind on retirement is avoid looking at the numbers. That is understandable. It is also the exact thing that keeps people stuck. So the first step is building a real picture of your current financial position. Knowing where you are is not depressing. It's empowering. You cannot navigate without a map. Start by calculating your net retirement assets. This means everything you have set aside for retirement, your 401k, IRA, Roth IRA, pension, taxable brokerage accounts designated for retirement. Do not include home equity yet. We will come back to that. Once you have that number, apply what's known as the Rule of 25. This concept comes from decades of retirement research around sustainable withdrawal rates. The idea is straightforward. To sustain a given level of annual spending in retirement, you generally need approximately 25 times that amount saved. If you expect to need $60,000 per year, you would ideally want around $1.5 million. If you plan to need $40,000 supplemented by Social Security, considerably less. Calculate your gap. That is your number. That is what you're working with. Next, estimate your Social Security benefit. Go to ssa.gov, create an account if you haven't already, and review your estimated monthly benefit at ages 62, 67, and 70. Write those numbers down. They will matter enormously later in this video. Finally, assess your expected expenses in retirement. A useful starting framework. Most retirees spend roughly 70 to 80% of their pre-retirement income in the early years. The major wildcard is healthcare, particularly if you retire before Medicare eligibility at 65. Private coverage for a single individual can run $800 to $1,500 per month, depending on your location and health status. Build that in and be conservative. It is always better to over-prepare. Here is something that surprises most people when they actually run these numbers. Many people who feel dramatically behind are in a far more manageable position than they initially think. Not because they have saved enough, but because they haven't yet factored in Social Security, potential part-time income, home equity, or a realistic reduction in expenses after retirement. The gap is real. In most cases, it is not insurmountable. Keep watching, because the next section is where things get genuinely actionable. The U.S. tax code offers people over 50 specific, powerful mechanisms designed exactly for this situation. Most people have heard of them in passing. Very few are actually using them to their full potential. The first is catch-up contributions. If you are 50 or older, you can contribute more to retirement accounts than the standard limits allow. For 2024 and into 2025, the 401k standard contribution limit is $23,000. Those 50 and older can contribute an additional $7,500, bringing the annual maximum to $30,500. For IRAs, the standard limit is $7,000 with a $1,000 catch-up for those 50 and older, totaling $8,000 per year. But here is something that very few people know about. The Secure 2.0 Act, passed in 2022, introduced a super catch-up provision for a specific age group. Starting in 2025, individuals between the ages of 60 and 63 can contribute up to $11,250 above the standard limit to their workplace retirement plan, rather than the standard $7,500 catch-up. If you are in that window right now, you may be eligible to put away up to $34,250 in your 401k in a single year. The majority of people in this age group have no idea this provision exists. If you have an employer match on top of that, the number climbs even higher. The second tool is strategic Roth conversions. If you have a significant balance in a traditional 401k or traditional IRA, those withdrawals in retirement will be taxed as ordinary income, and they may push you into a higher bracket than you expect, especially when combined with Social Security and required minimum distributions beginning at age 73. A Roth conversion, moving money from a traditional IRA to a Roth and paying taxes on it now, can be a powerful planning strategy in the years between 55 and the start of Social Security. If your income has dropped or you've reduced your working hours, you may be in a lower tax bracket now than you will be later. You pay the tax at that lower rate, and the money grows tax-free for the rest of your life. This is not the right strategy for everyone, and the details matter enormously. Please work with a qualified CPA or financial planner before making any moves here, but it is absolutely worth exploring. The third tool is the Health Savings Account, or HSA. If you are currently enrolled in a high-deductible health plan, you may be eligible to contribute to an HSA, and if you haven't been maximizing this, you are leaving one of the most powerful financial structures in the U.S. tax code completely untouched. HSAs offer what is often called a triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax deductible, the money grows tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are also tax-free. In 2024, the contribution limit is $4,150 for individuals and $8,300 for families, with an additional $1,000 catch-up for those 55 and older. If you invest your HSA balance in a diversified portfolio rather than leaving it in cash, it grows tax-free and can be used in retirement for Medicare premiums, out-of-pocket healthcare costs, and long-term care expenses. After age 65, withdrawals for non-medical expenses are taxed as ordinary income but carry no penalty, making it effectively equivalent to a traditional IRA, with the added benefit of completely tax-free medical spending. Now let's talk about the mistakes. These are the patterns I see most consistently among people who are over 55 and financially vulnerable, and they are not about intelligence. Smart, hardworking people make these mistakes all the time. The first and most expensive mistake is claiming Social Security too early. Claiming at 62, at the earliest possible age, permanently reduces your benefit by up to 30% compared to what you would receive at your full retirement age. And if you wait until 70, your benefit grows by approximately 8% per year beyond your full retirement age. The difference in lifetime income between claiming at 62 versus 70 can easily exceed $150,000 to $200,000 for someone in good health. The break-even point, the age at which waiting pays off, is typically around age 80. If you expect to live past that, waiting to claim is almost always the financially superior decision. The second mistake is carrying debt into retirement. Consumer debt in retirement is a silent budget destroyer. If you carry $25,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest, that is more than $5,000 per year in interest payments alone, coming directly out of your fixed income. If you are within 10 years of retirement, eliminating high-interest debt should be treated as a co-equal priority to saving. The guaranteed return of paying off a 20% interest rate debt often exceeds what you would realistically earn in the market on that same money. The third mistake is underestimating longevity. A healthy 65-year-old man today has roughly a 50% chance of living past 85, a healthy 65-year-old woman past 87. And the odds that at least one partner in a couple lives into their 90s are surprisingly high. Plan for a longer retirement than you think you'll need. If you're wrong on the high side, the money goes to your heirs. Running out of money at 82 because you planned for a 15-year retirement is a catastrophe, and it is entirely preventable. The fourth mistake is ignoring inflation. Over a 20-year retirement, even modest 3% annual inflation cuts your purchasing power roughly in half. If your plan assumes $4,000 a month will cover your needs today, recognize that by 2045, the same lifestyle will likely cost closer to $7,200 in nominal terms. This means maintaining a meaningful allocation to assets that grow with or above inflation, including equities, even well into retirement. The fifth mistake is making emotional investment decisions during market downturns. The temptation to sell when markets fall and wait for recovery is one of the most expensive impulses in personal finance. Research is unambiguous on this. Investors who sell during downturns consistently underperform those who stay invested. The antidote is a portfolio structured so that you never need to sell growth assets under pressure, with enough in cash and short-term instruments to cover 2 to 3 years of expenses without touching your long-term investments. That structure is the foundation of the bucket strategy, which we're going to cover in a few minutes. We're halfway through, and I hope this is giving you real clarity. If it is, share this video. There are people in your life carrying retirement anxiety quietly and alone, and this could genuinely help them. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. There's more content like this coming. And leave a like. It matters more than you might think. Now let's keep going. If you're over 55, you likely have a 10 to 15 year window before you plan to retire, perhaps less. Here is how to use that window as effectively as possible. First, increase your savings rate aggressively. The math here is non-negotiable. If you currently save 5% of your income and increase that to 15%, the compounding effect over 10 years can roughly double your projected retirement balance. The most sustainable way to fund a higher savings rate is to reduce large fixed expenses, housing, vehicles, subscriptions, rather than making dozens of small cuts that are difficult to maintain. Second, consider downsizing earlier than you planned. For most Americans over 55, home equity is the single largest asset on their balance sheet, and it is almost entirely illiquid until they sell or borrow against it. Downsizing can unlock that equity while simultaneously reducing ongoing expenses, property taxes, maintenance, utilities, and insurance. The proceeds can be invested or used to eliminate debt. And for many people, a smaller, better located home genuinely improves quality of life. If downsizing has felt like giving something up, reframe it. For someone in catch-up mode, it can be the single most powerful financial move of their 50s. Third, consider extending your working years, even partially. Every additional year you work accomplishes 3 things simultaneously. You add to savings, you shorten the number of years your portfolio must sustain you, and you allow your Social Security benefit to grow. Even working part-time in the early years of retirement can dramatically reduce pressure on your portfolio during its most vulnerable phase. Research on sequence of returns risk shows clearly that portfolio losses in the first 5 years of retirement are disproportionately damaging compared to the same losses later. Reducing withdrawals in that early window, even modestly through part-time income, gives your investments the time they need to recover from any market turbulence. Let's go deeper on Social Security, because this single decision could be worth more to your retirement than almost anything else on this list. For anyone born in 1960 or later, full retirement age is 67. Claiming at 62 permanently reduces your benefit by approximately 30%. Waiting until 70 increases it by approximately 8% per year beyond your full retirement age, meaning someone who waits until 70 receives roughly 124% of their full retirement age benefit for the rest of their life. The break-even calculation works like this. The age at which the total lifetime benefit from waiting equals what you would have received by claiming early is approximately age 80, when comparing claiming at 62 versus 67, and approximately age 83 when comparing 67 versus 70. For someone in good health with other income to bridge the gap, waiting is typically the optimal financial decision. The guaranteed 8% annual growth of a delayed Social Security benefit is the closest thing to a risk-free high return that exists anywhere in the retirement planning toolkit. There are legitimate reasons to claim early: serious health conditions, urgent income needs, or complex situations involving spousal benefits. These deserve careful individual analysis, ideally with the help of a financial advisor who specializes in Social Security optimization. But the default assumption that claiming early is playing it safe is, for most people, exactly wrong. Now let's talk about how to actually structure your retirement income, because how you use your money matters just as much as how much of it you have. The bucket strategy is the most psychologically effective framework for retirement withdrawals available to the average investor. The idea is to organize your retirement assets by when you will need them. Bucket 1 covers years 1 and 2. This is cash and cash equivalents, money market funds, short-term CDs, treasury bills. This bucket covers your living expenses for the next 12 to 24 months without needing to sell anything. If the market drops 30%, it doesn't matter. You are not touching this bucket. Bucket 2 covers years 3 through 10. This is a more conservative mix: short and intermediate term bonds, dividend-paying stocks, balanced funds. It grows modestly and is available within a few years if Bucket 1 needs replenishment. Bucket 3 covers year 10 and beyond. This is a diversified portfolio of equities, domestic and international stocks, It has the longest time horizon and therefore the most capacity to weather volatility. It is the engine of your long-term purchasing power. The psychological power of this structure is that market downturns stop feeling like emergencies. When stocks fall, you're looking at money you don't need for a decade. That changes everything about how you respond, and how you respond is one of the most important determinants of your long-term results. Now, a word on guaranteed income. If your essential monthly expenses are covered by guaranteed income, Social Security, a pension, or a structured insurance product like a simple immediate annuity, then your portfolio withdrawals become discretionary. You have flexibility. You can ride out downturns without being forced to sell assets at a loss. For someone without a pension, a straightforward immediate annuity, where you exchange a lump sum for guaranteed lifetime income, is a financial category worth researching as part of a broader retirement income strategy. I want to be clear. I am not recommending any specific product or company. What I'm describing is a type of financial instrument that, when used appropriately and selectively, can serve a specific function in an income plan. Any decision in this area should be made with the guidance of a qualified, fee-only financial advisor who is not earning a commission on the sale. Here is something the financial media rarely says plainly. The people who improve their retirement outcomes most dramatically in their 50s and 60s are almost never the ones who made one brilliant investment. They are the people who made a series of boring, consistent, disciplined decisions and stopped making the expensive mistakes. The next few minutes may be the most practically useful of this entire video. Let's make this concrete. Here is what to do this week, not someday, not eventually. This week, Step 1, log into ssa.gov and download your Social Security statement. Know your projected benefit at 62, 67, and 70. Write those numbers down somewhere, you will see them. Step 2, list every retirement account you have, 401k, IRA, Roth, with the current balance, your contribution rate, and whether you are currently making catch-up contributions. If you are not, calculate what a 2 to 3% contribution increase would look like in dollar terms. Step 3, list every debt you carry, balance, interest rate, and minimum payment. Rank them by interest rate. Any balance above 10% interest should be on an aggressive elimination plan running in parallel with your savings increases. Step 4, run a retirement projection using a free online calculator. Enter your current savings, your expected annual contributions, your planned retirement age, and your estimated Social Security benefit. If there's a gap, name it. Quantify it. A gap you can see is a gap you can work with. Step 5. If you don't have one already, schedule a single meeting with a fee-only financial advisor, someone who charges by the hour or by the plan and is legally required to act in your interest. Not a commission-based broker? One session with the right professional can provide a roadmap that would take you months to build on your own. Before I close, if this video gave you clarity, a concrete next step, or even just a starting point, please share it. There are people in your life carrying this burden quietly, and you know who they are. Send them the link. Subscribe if you haven't already. There's more content coming on this exact topic, and you don't want to find it 6 months after it was relevant. And leave a like. It helps more than you'd think. Let me leave you with this. Being behind at 55 is not the same as being out of the game. The rules of the final stretch of retirement preparation are different from the early years, but they are not necessarily harder. They require honesty, clarity, and a willingness to make decisions with the information you actually have, rather than the information you wish you had. The catch-up contribution rules exist because lawmakers understood that life is unpredictable and people need second chances. The Social Security system was built with flexibility for the same reason. The financial tools available to someone in their late 50s and early 60s are genuinely powerful, if you know they exist and if you use them. You have time, not unlimited time, but real, meaningful time. And what you do with it matters. Start today. Not because you're panicking, but because starting today is simply the most useful thing you can do. I'll see you in the next one.